So today, ladies and gentlemen, I am making my world famous hot sauce, my chili sauce. I've done a video before about making hot sauce, but it was like a short video, so I'm going to try and explain it in just a little bit more detail today. These are all the ingredients I'm about to use and some of the equipment you can see here. So without further ado, let's make this sauce. All right, so the first thing you're going to do, start with a base. This is the pineapple base. Now, of course, you could get creative with how you do your hot sauce. You don't have to use a pineapple. Cut the bottom off as well. And then take the outer skin off. I said outer skin, as if there's also an inner skin. These bits you can do some stuff with if you want to, but we're not going to use them today. But if you want, you can make various things with those as well, so you don't have to throw them out. Don't worry too much about these holes, eyes, I don't know what you call them, but don't worry too much about those. If they get left behind, it's fine. It's going to get chopped up anyway. But yeah, once you got that, then start cutting around center core. Get as much of the pineapple off as you can. And yeah, that'll be good. And now just chop it up a little bit. How small you cut them is kind of up to you. Like, it's going to get blended anyway. But I'd say go about this kind of size. The thing is, when you put stuff in a blender, you never want the pieces to be too big because they could end up just wearing down your blade unnecessarily. So you still want to cut them relatively small. I mean, something like a pineapple is quite soft anyway. And also by the time it gets blended, it's going to be even softer. So it's not a major thing, but even still. All right, now once you've cut down your pineapple, I'm just going to put these to the side. In this case, I'm going to put them into the blender. Oh, by the way, this blender boils as well as blends. If you don't have a blender that boils as well as blends, that's fine. Put it in a pot and boil it that. And you're not boil it in water, you're going to boil it in vinegar, but I'll show you that in a moment. But basically, you want to boil it and then blend it. But we're not going to boil it just yet. I'm just putting it in the thing for now, so it's just sort of out of the way. I ain't gonna lie, man, that's probably a bit too much, so you calm down a little bit. Yeah, you don't need this much pineapple. You probably you need about half, so we take a bit out just so we're not just save these for later. But yeah, about half the pineapple you chopped up, put these in the fridge, put them, make a fruit salad or whatever. But yeah, just about half the pineapple you actually need, so I'll leave that there and put this away. All right, now we can add our peppers. So start with the capsicum pepper. Now, you can either leave the seeds in if you want to. You can take them out. That's up to you. I prefer to leave the seeds in. So that being said, they kind of get taken out eventually anyway. So, but you know what? Let's leave the seeds out for now. Just let it strain later. Because they're actually going to get strained out later anyway. So just leave them there for now. It's fine. We're using one whole pepper. I'm going to put that into the blender as well. Or the boiler / blender. Remember, you're going to boil it first. So if you don't have a blender that boils, put it in a pot and boil it in that. I'm going to use some red chilies. About 2 should do. Yeah, you can get real creative with these if you want to. All right, now we put those in there as well. For a little bit of flavor, we're going to use a sweet pointed chili as well. Chop that all the way up. And don't worry too much about the seeds because it's all going to get strained out anyway. And for the spice, for the real kick, I'm going to add some bird eye chilies. Got some green, got some green and some red ones. I don't even know how many are here right now, so it doesn't really matter. Just take a bunch, chop them up. Play it by ear, Put those all in there as well. By the way, if you're watching this video in March, April, May, it's a good time to start growing peppers. So yeah, you can keep the seeds, put them in the garden, or put them in a pot first, grow them out a little bit, then transfer that to a bigger pot, put that in your garden or outdoors if you've got a balcony or on a windowsill, something like that. But, or just somewhere where they can get, you know, the sunlight and that sort of thing. But yeah, now's a good time to grow peppers. Okay, so we've got most of the peppers in there. Gonna add some ground black peppers. And you can get in there just a bit more. Yeah, okay. Also some chili garlic seasoning. Yeah, get creative. Play around. Different flavors, different spices. All right, now we're gonna add the vinegar. So distilled white vinegar. And how much vinegar you add is gonna depend on how fluid you want it to be. So if you want it really fluidy, more vinegar. Less fluidy, less vinegar. Pretty much what it comes down to. For this, I think about 150, 200 should do. So milliliters I'm talking about, by the way. Which might need a bit more, to be honest with you. So yeah, that should do it. Oh, it's in the way, my bad. So yeah, I just put a bit in. That's, what did I put in there? That's about 400 milliliters of vinegar. But you kind of know where to stop. just based on the height of it. You don't want it, I don't know if you can see, but you don't want it like all the way up here. But mine's just about there, so from the bottom to that there. I'm gonna get boiled and blended down, so this should be about okay for me. But yeah, if you want more fluidy, more vinegar, less fluidy, less vinegar. All right, so now we boil this. All right, so you want to boil it for about half an hour. Actually, before we boil it, it's real quick. So like I said, if this boils and then it blends. Now, if you're going to use a pot and then boil it afterwards, if you're going to use a pot to boil it and then blend it afterwards, that's fine. But make sure your blender can take the heat, because you want to blend it while it's still hot. So you don't want to pour, hot sauce into a blender and it just melts it, right? So if you're going to boil it in a pot, fine. Put it in the blender afterwards, but you want to blend it while it's still hot. So whichever blender you use, make sure the blender itself can take the heat. Don't pour hot sauce into like a plastic blender or something like that. It will not go well. So boil, blend, whether you have something that can do it all or use a pot, then blend it. But make sure your blender can take the heat, because you want to blend it while it's still hot. All right, so I'm going to boil this for half an hour. There we go. Wait, I didn't do it. Yeah, half an hour. On high, and yeah, that's going to do its thing. So come back in half an hour. All right, so that just finished boiling. Now we blend it. Blend it up real good. All right, now optional extra, but I have some homemade cornstarch liquid that I'm going to add in. It's just to make it a little bit thicker. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Optional, right? But it just makes it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to add a little bit in there. Call it a few teaspoons, or maybe a couple of tablespoons. Something like that, just a little bit more. That should do. Then I'm gonna cook it again for just 5 minutes this time. Let's just finish cooking again. So now we blend it again. All right, there's nice. It's all cooked up. Now we strain it. Also, by the way, with the cornstarch, I added it in after I cooked it the first time. You don't have to do that. You can add it in with the initial ingredients and just cook it and blend it like that way. So because I kind of decided last minute to add a little something. Yeah, we're gonna let that strain out. In fact, kind of coast it along if we get a spatula or something. So yeah, if you don't want to wait forever while it strains out, you can just get a spatula, get something like this, and just help it along the way. Still going to take a while though. All right, so once you've done straining it, you should be left with something that looks a little like this. Now this blubber, all the stuff that remains behind in the sieve, you can use this for a sandwich. You can use it to make a stuffed pepper, or you can just eat it. There's quite a few things you could do with this, but yeah, you don't got to throw it away. You can use this bit as well. I mean, literally, you can just eat it. It's fine to just eat. But this would be your sauce, your final sauce. And we've got quite a bit there by the looks of it, which is awesome. So I'll make a few more drips actually. But yeah, we've got quite a bit there. So now we've got to boil it. Actually, before you put it in the boiler, let it cool down first. And now we're going to put this into this. Make sure your bottles are clean and dry. And now we pour. Okay, that's about full. You don't want to fill up the entire bottle because it will just spill over. But there you go. That is hot sauce. Now you can close that up. And there you have it. Homemade hot sauce. I'm not sure how long this will last in terms of like sell by date, use by date, that kind of stuff. It goes pretty quickly because it's good. I like it a lot, so it goes pretty quickly. If you like hot sauce, you ain't even worried about the best by date because you know it's just going to be gone before that anyway. But yeah, that is how you make a hot sauce.